But yeah, we're just past 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead at least and get started, um, so that way we can kind of get underway. I'm sure more folks will kind of join us as we keep going through. Um, welcome everyone to our weekly voice chat that we typically do for our FoxyDAO. Name's Drax TS, one of the co-founders with Famous Fox Federation. I'll also give a shout out to those folks that are on YouTube because we have been posting these to YouTube. I think I might have actually missed last week's at least to post it yet, so I'll have to get to that when I get a chance. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, it certainly helps support the project, or at least kind of get more of our information out about our projects, to the general community. We try to post these every week when we have them, just to kind of get a bit more information about what our project's currently doing, kind of keep track of what we've kind of done in the past, and just to kind of maybe provide some inspiration for future projects that want to kind of get into the space and are seeing what the foxes are developing. So having said that, I will also, if you wouldn't mind, I'll say Regan, but Foxy Dev Jr. Has also joined us up here. If you want to give a little bit of an introduction yourself.
Yes, so I'm Reagan, software developer. Also, I go by Foxy Dev Jr. on Discord, but mostly a lot of front end stuff. But big Rust guy. That's definitely new to the Web3/crypto space, but yeah, excited to build some stuff.
Heck yeah, excited to have you help us build some stuff. Uh, that's what we're doing. Oh yeah, you know what? That's a good point. So Aaron just sent me a DM. So I know I forgot to set this one up to record. I try to set these spaces up to record themselves. I actually record it separately. So I have to get more diligent with just letting these kind of record themselves and kind of do the best of both worlds to let them go. But I am recording this on a second device to help get this up onto the YouTube side of things. So I apologize, but in the future, I'll try and make sure I record these on Twitter. I've done some, not all, especially once they kind of came out with that feature, which is nice. Hasn't always been there. So I appreciate that. So yeah, so I'll go ahead. I'll at least get started on going through kind of the, I'll say the day in the week of our project, of things that we've kind of pushed out and just items that we've given as far as announcements goes. So starting off with our trading post, so we kind of opened that up. I think I mentioned it at our last VC. But the nice part about our trading post, a few like kind of tertiary items worth mentioning. You can post a Fox that's staked on the trading post. So you can still collect the Foxy reward from having a Fox staked, but at the same time, you can also let people know if you're interested in swapping your Fox for something else, another Fox, a different project, multiple Foxes for something. Trading post is just convenient and lets you kind of just create that ad space, if you will, in one location for trading your NFTs. It doesn't have to be just Foxes. We've got, I want to say, all of our verified collections posted on our trading post. So you can go ahead and, as long as it's one of those NFTs, you could post it up in there, add comments to it, and basically kind of get linked up. It just helps. It makes life a bit easier too for folks to kind of communicate back and forth, and ultimately land you the NFT that you would like to own, if you have something that you're looking to swap for. As far as quality of life upgrades, I did mention, I think before, that we have Foxy Sweep back and enabled, but we also have included Solinart in there as well, so it's kind of an aggregated floor sweeper now. I believe we're the only project that has that as of yet. It does cost Foxy to use, and it costs 200 Foxy right now to use that floor sweeper. And the nice part about it is you just go in there, connect your wallet, and you put either the collection you're looking to go for, how many NFTs you want, or up to a certain floor price you want to buy, and it will tell you the amount of Solana required to do that sweep, and then you enable it. The one thing I will say is Solana's network every once in a while can be a little shaky. So if by chance you do a transaction for it and it fails after you approve the Foxy payment, just reach out to us and let us know that this sweep itself had failed, and that way we can go back and we can just give you back the Foxy fee that was taken from you. We have to take the fee up front because if we take it at the end, you can just cancel the fee and you can use the tool for free. So we want to avoid that. So we charge you up front. So just as a heads up, if it ever fails for you, just provide us a transaction ID, within our Discord, and just let us know. And someone will get back to you in a timely fashion to get you back that amount of Foxy that you had missed on that. But again, that's primarily just because of Solana's network that may potentially fail to do the actual sweeping. We also did try to improve some of the filtering side of things on our token market, just to be able to filter through like verified collections and such, so you don't have to kind of see different tokens that are at a very low price at the very top of the market. Just kind of helps out folks that are kind of poking around to try and find something specific, or if you're kind of just browsing. And then that way you can kind of just see what you're kind of looking for within the token market. We try to improve the user experience for that as a whole. Some folks had asked recently too about making it different from just having the cards listed or trying to like aggregate the listings that are on there. The challenge with it is that it's kind of all based off of like first come first serve for the postings. It's no different than posting an NFT into a marketplace. It's its own unique listing. And so that's just kind of worth mentioning because it would be nice to kind of make it a little bit more simpler for folks to kind of have different posts on there that kind of aggregate. But the cards seem to work, and you can also filter it out by searching for a specific collection or for a specific address that you're looking for the token. So hopefully that's enough for helping on the filtering side of things for folks to find what they're looking for. I think it's been working out fairly well for folks. We also did push out our official Mambo Jambo dens. So for those of you that are part of the Mambo Jambo community or just more interested in the unique dens that we've pushed out, up to and including the interior rooms for our collab projects, you can now buy that interior room if you're interested. They kind of have a really fun, cute, I'll call it like a circusy kind of vibe to them. So the outside kind of is like a circus tent, and the inside, I don't want to give away too much of like their lore side, but it has different components that are kind of built both from like the fox side. So we have like a little fox stuffed fox. I want to call it stuffed teddy bear, but it's not. It's a fox. And then just some like other little elements kind of in there to kind of pick up on based off of some of their lore. Melties is pretty awesome chatting with and getting some ideas from her for putting them into the interior side and exterior side. So if you're interested, you can check that out. It's officially showing up in our directory if you go in there and you kind of just poke through the top set once you get to the collaboration side of things. We then also did, so for those of you that have been around, I'll say both Alpha and Fox Chat over the past month and some change. We've had James Hatfield, which has been, he's had quite a fun time creating the MiniFoxes, and he'll probably come in here later if he isn't already in here. And give me some stuff about certain things for the project that I haven't mentioned that I'm mentioning now. But he created the MiniFoxes, and they've caught on with such popularity that he was talking with Dev and I one day about seeing if it wasn't even his idea, I don't think, for putting them up for auctions. I think it might have been from myself and Dev that were kind of chatting like people seem to be interested in the minis, so we did a mini auction for two different ones. One that was kind of a Darth Vader variant or derivative, if that's the best way to explain it. And then the second one had both our Solana glasses that we have as a trait, but then also a blue party hat, which is a throwback to RuneScape, which I'll also mention again in our DAO VC today for a little bit. But we did our first mini auction for those. They went for, I believe, 40 some thousand and 80 some thousand for the two of them separately. So I think he was pretty happy with that. I think he was kind of surprised as to how much they actually went for. I think the level of effort you put into it, is certainly great for what they are, and I know the buyers that bought them are certainly happy with their purchases. So that was quite fun, and kind of getting into more of the fun side of things last weekend, was, or I should say Monday, was Valentine's Day. So I know I mentioned it at our DAO VC last time, but we did have Valentine's Day dings. We had 10 different templates. I believe Brink doesn't care that I give him credit for kind of creating them. Him, and my wife were just spitballing them. I'll say for the most part it was Brink. Brink's the creative genius behind the ideas and the designs. I think he was strong armed into creating two additional ones based off of feedback from folks that wanted to see specific ones that didn't exist. I think, for example, the "I Want to Pump You" one was hilarious, such a good ad. Um, but they cost the same as our other dings. Cost 50 Foxy to send them out. You put a to and from um, person on it and a wallet address you want to send it to. I had a lot of fun sending them out. I know a lot of other folks had fun sending them out, so it definitely was quite fun to play around with for Valentine's Day. So hopefully everyone kind of enjoyed it. It's just one of those things, where I think it just adds a little extra, to the time. I mean, we're not taking out Solana for all these things. These are kind of just, fun things for us to build into the community side that people hopefully enjoy enough to kind of, keep doing them as we kind of push them out. But yeah, I was quite happy with the way that the Valentines turned out myself. And then we did also release the interior room that we're giving out as part of the loyalty bonus. So that has yet to be sent out completely. But for this was for folks that were staking between December 20th and February 1st. Just as a kind of a give back. Man, it's a solid period of time to have a single NFT staked in the space. I know we've had a good chunk of our NFTs staked for quite some time, to earn our utility token primarily for using our tools and other things that we create with its use. But we wanted to kind of give back a little bit more. So for this, we are giving out an interior room to everyone that had Foxes staked then. We kind of took a little bit of inspiration from something that we didn't have yet. We don't have traits that are reminiscent of any kind of like Egyptian lore or something along those lines, but we also wanted to kind of add in a little bit of a flair with kind of the diamond hand side of things. You'll notice an unusually large diamond in one of the little containers. And then we also have our infamous Keep Spirits fox on the wall, and not to mention the golden fox statue that's in there as well. So, pretty happy with it. I think a lot of people that were staked for that period of time will kind of enjoy getting this as a room. Again, it's a thing where this point in time, if you had Foxes staked, you can get it. In the future, you won't be able to get this room, or you can't just buy it or anything like that. So I thought that was quite fun to kind of give back as a loyalty bonus. We will also give the Foxy as well that was promised for it. Once we push that out, and we'll send out an announcement just to let everyone know that we have paid out the loyalty bonuses for that. In the near future. It was also brought up, and we kind of went back and forth before we actually did end up implementing it. But some folks were asking if they could list tokens in the token market for Foxy. I think the good thing at the end of the day is you can't do a listing that has one or the other. You can only create a listing that has one or like just one of the two options. You can't put it for like one soul or X Foxy. So we put it up there as options. I think so far there's been only a few sales on the Foxy side of things. If you're interested in acquiring more Foxy, or spending Foxy, and I would just say with that, the fees that are taken out, if there are fees from the Foxy side of things, they just get burnt, and it just kind of adds like a different level of utility for folks that want to kind of exchange. But I think for the most part, it's been the Bronc tokens that have gotten traded for Foxy, which has been kind of interesting. But yeah, so that's an added feature that we did into the market, and we did we did include for other quality of life improvements. Foxy Send lets you select all NFTs as well as NFTs per collection. That was something I've gotten DM'd about from a few different projects, not projects, people that had used Foxy Send, I'll say to its capacity. Um, so the way that it works is if you go into Foxy Send and you look at your wallet, you'll see the separation of all the different collections in there just by their name. And so there's an option on the right hand side where you can select all of that collection. And then at the very top, you can select all from that wallet. And it just makes life easier if you want to, because before all the NFTs were kind of just sprinkled throughout, there wasn't really a rhyme or reason as to where they were located. But now it makes it nice and easy for you to just grab straight from those collections in bulk, send them out. So I think a lot of people are happy with that specific update. I think it just adds a bit more value to what Foxy Send can do. And it's just simple. I mean, I say simple, it's not that simple, but it's just sorting or organizing the way the collections are in that, which is nice. We did also add support for tokens that have decimal places. So some different utility tokens projects had kind of reached out to us to ask if there was a way for us to add it in. So as an example, like Mortuary Ash and a few others. I think one of the more recent ones was Stealth from Stealth Ninja NFTs, and Cyber Frogs have, I think, flies for their project. But we added in support for being able to add tokens that have decimal places to them. And um, and so I think that just helps give us additional value with what the token market kind of provide to the space as a whole, which is quite nice. Let's see. We have our missions leveling system, which we kind of threw out. I know our plan is to get that out this weekend. I don't want to under promise and or over promise, under deliver, but I believe we're on track to hit that. Um, we pushed out what the leveling system looks like, at least from like a level side of things. Not necessarily about like all the in-depth pieces for the experience, but for those of you that are kind of familiar with, and like I mentioned earlier, it's it's very reminiscent of RuneScape's experience chart for the leveling system, all the way from level 1 to level, I think it has 120 on it. But for anyone that's a hardcore RuneScape advocate, knows that 200 million EXP is the max you can get there. I don't know if we have a maximum, which is probably worth asking. Uh, uh, Dev, and I'm not sure if Reagan, if you have an idea if there's a maximum EXP get from the mission side or for leveling up.
Ooh, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, but we'll push that out if there is a cap. I'm gonna say for right now there probably isn't. I think that will kind of create a little additional competition between folks, which I think can be quite fun. But so yeah, so keep an eye out for that. But that leveling system is just like RuneScape's as far as levels go. And so the way it'll really work is, fame is our experience that you end up getting for completing a mission, and that's just going to kind of increase the level of your foxes. And different missions will kind of have different levels required to even activate them. So there will just be different requirements for those missions, and that'll kind of add a bit more value. The thing worth mentioning is that the levels on foxes do transfer between people. So if you were to sell a fox that has certain levels to it, that person that purchases it from you, the leveling will go with the fox. So that's worth mentioning. We keep track of that to be able to allow that to take place. All right. We did also push out. I'm not sure if this is the very last. Basically, it's kind of the last piece. The Golden Fox auction that we had earlier in the month. We pushed out the donations for that to the 3 separate charities. So we kind of talked about it on the back end, based off of the folks that had kind of provided charities to us from our DGen DAO auction. And then folks that kind of also tried to provide additional charities to us for the Golden Fox. We just took basically the charities from the DGen DAO that didn't get donations to them, put that through a vote, and kind of did a donation based off of the percentage of votes that people voted for, just because it was a sizably larger donation piece. So instead of kind of giving it to one based off of what we did before, we decided to kind of break it up and give it out to the three. So I think our lowest donation was just under half of an ETH, which I think is just close, not far off of $1,500. And the highest was 1.38 ETH, but they went to really good causes. The titles form Animal Ethics, Logout, and Mental Health America. So you can find out more about them if you're interested in our announcement that went out on the 16th. We put links in there. I think the links primarily go to like their crypto donation side of things, but you can find their mission and such from there with just a few couple clicks. So highly recommend checking them out. And I'm glad that we're giving more and more back to the rest of the world, because I think that's important at the end of the day, especially for a product like ours from day one. That's always been part of our mission. So we just kind of add that to the list. And the very last announcement that went out yesterday is that for a Foxy list, you can now list multiple NFTs on Magic Eden. So it costs 200 Foxy for any number of NFTs in a given collection. And you can either list them all at the same price, or you can do it individually. The one thing to kind of keep in mind is that it is kind of early for this to kind of exist. And so, they're you just want to make sure that once it does kind of get posted, that you just double check everything and then it lists it all correctly. And also keep in mind the potential, congestion and such that can happen within the Solana network. So if it fails, just go ahead, double check things, make sure, that things did, like, I'll say, fail properly, if that's the right way to say it. But like I mentioned before, with our floor sweeper, again, this will take a fee beforehand. So if it does fail for you and doesn't list the NFTs properly, again, just get in contact with us for us to reimburse you for that, Foxy, because again, the network can potentially cause the listings to not approve on it. So, yeah, so we'll always get back the community for the fees that you're due, based off of the network having issues, because that's not really fair to the rest of the community for us to just charge for network issues. And that kind of wraps up the main piece that I wanted to talk about, at least from our current week. The one item, I know we mentioned it before the space really had kind of started, and I think we've got a few more people in here, but there was at least some kind of recent exploit, I believe, on the manual migration side of things with open seas. So for anyone that might have some ETH NFTs, if you have any, if you have your MetaMask approved with OpenSea, just go and remove that from approved pieces for right now. That way, there's no potential issue for it. I believe it's just based off of the manual migration side for going to their new level, but I'm not super familiar with it. It kind of came out just before we started the space, so I think it's just better to err on the side of caution. And again, you can always just reconnect it later. I don't believe there's a fee to disconnecting it, so just wanted to push that out to everyone. But yeah, having said that, let me just poke through real quick. I don't think I see any questions in here. I'll kind of not to not to put you on the spot, Reagan, but I don't know if you wanted to mention anything, perhaps, I don't know, any items that you're kind of working on, or anything you wanted to kind of add to just quick general announcements.
Nothing. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but I think you did mention the thing coming out this weekend, right? Can we talk about that or no?
Yeah. We can talk about it. I talked a bit about, like, kind of I'll say more of the ins and outs of the mission sides of things. But if you wanted to give, a little bit more alpha, I don't think anyone here will be mad about that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So you're gonna be able to basically um, s- send your foxes on missions, I guess, is the main thing. But you get fame as reward, as well as treasure chests, and it's cool. It's cool because you can, like, certain missions. as Drax was saying, are only available for foxes with like certain traits or like transdimensional. Oh, whoops, sorry, drop some shit. Like certain foxes, certain traits can only go on certain missions. So it's staking 2.0. It's pretty neat. Some pretty neat stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. As I think Drax also said this, it's supposed to go this weekend. I think we're on track for that. We were just fixing up some last minute styling and UI bugs and whatnot, but should be good for this weekend. Not 100% locked in though, but I want to say 99% locked in.
Yeah, and the one thing too, Reagan, I know I mentioned it in previous spaces, but I don't believe I mentioned it earlier. Some missions will have like a component too with other projects, so we will have like the collaboration piece built in. I don't believe this initial set does, but we have some other, I'll say like partner projects that we've kind of gotten approval from their side to kind of include their collections within missions. So it would require, a specific other project NFT as well as Foxes to go on a specific mission. They wouldn't be dedicated to just those projects. There would still be a Fox component to them as well, which I think would be quite fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because it's always fun to grab more foxes, but like just staking like 10 more foxes, it's like kind of the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? So it's nice to sort of be able to grab some more foxes, and it's like, oh yeah, I need to get one with a mustache for this mission. And then you go and you grab one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, on the other side too, I mean, like you don't know what your reward's going to be from the treasure chest, and you get the fame side too. So like it adds more to those foxes that you're already using. So I think that's what's going to kind of set it apart from like a lot of, I'll say there's a lot of other products that have staking involved as compared to kind of adding in more of like a gamified element to it.
Yeah, I think the meta of just like staking and just getting a utility token like has been since. I mean, like, it was great months ago, right? Because Foxy or Famous Foxes was one of the only ones that I knew that sort of had that sort of get a utility token and have it be that easy. But it seems like almost every other project is sort of adding the same staking thing. So it's cool that we're adding something that's different and kind of feels ahead of the curve. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's I'm not going to say that it's going to set the precedence because I don't know if every project thinks that they have to kind of gamify staking. I think it'd be kind of cool if projects had a different level than just either holding an NFT because some projects, as long as you hold it, you get a token. You don't even have to kind of interact with the staking platform. But I think it kind of adds a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of a better, experience if that makes sense for kind of, playing around. And also, it kind of showcases a bit more of like the dev side of the team that's kind of creating it. I mean, we're kind of, I'll say, pioneering the space really, for what we're creating because it's not like a copy pasta or a game skin that someone bought and just kind of reskinned it. It's
makes it
completely from scratch.
way harder to develop. That's for sure. Which is good. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just copy the same project over and over again. But for like some projects, from a developer point of view, it's like, oh, this is easy. We can just copy them. Like they've already done it. Like
Yeah,
it should look like this, and there should be these buttons, and here's what the stuff that people actually use. Here's the stuff that they don't.
right.
So, but yeah, it's nice, sort of doing our own thing, making new stuff in the space.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I saw Brink finally requested. I don't want to call him out. I also don't know if you're at the gym or nothing. So yeah,
You know why I'm
I
here.
broke it.
Slurix,
Yeah,
you
but you could be at
coward.
the gym.
Slurix, trade me the fox.
Slurks.
Slurix, you coward. Waste me.
Is that what you're doing? You just came here just to shill Slurks
They're
to
the
sell
same
you as
rank.
Fox.
For God's sakes, man.
You just wanted the platform.
There has to be some difference in the rank. How far off is the rank?
They're like 10 ranks apart. They're
Okay,
both
this literally
Dark
is
Viking. Slurix.
Slurks. Trade in the Fox. Yeah, I see you with the eye patch on.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong guy. You got the fangs in the Viking. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail too much, but I do have a question for you. Since now we'll have a famed mechanic, and we'll be able to truly see who is the most famous fox. Leaderboard win.
Yeah. I'll comfortably say that we'll have a leaderboard probably before the first fame comes out. Maybe not. Maybe that. All right, let's not overpromise. We will have a leaderboard that comes out to showcase Fox levels. I think that would be awesome. And it definitely would create a bit of competitiveness to it. Perhaps we add some sweet rewards to the top foxes for a week. Maybe we can do week stats, or we could do month stats, or something. I guess we'd have to figure out the best way of kind of structuring that.
You could go even by category or like trait, like the most famous Viking or the most famous astronaut and all that sort of stuff too. And then you can move into the RuneScape stuff too and just add skilling on top of that, right? Just be chopping down trees.
Clicking
virtual trees levels.
And then convince Jagex to let us just put foxes in RuneScape, and then you guys just go play RuneScape.
Yeah, NFTs were just a big way to get people back playing RuneScape again.
This makes complete sense to me.
All right, I was actually watching a movie while I was listening, so I'm going to rescind my speaking spot. Also, hi, Paul, and I'm going to keep listening to you guys.
How dare you? But thanks, and that sounds good.
Yeah, I got half volume on my headphones, and I'm watching the movie still, so I'm trying to keep tabs on both.
You sound like me more and more every day.
I aspire to be that.
I appreciate that, I guess, but I don't know. Thanks. No, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, we just broke kind of the halfway point, and I appreciate Brink, Slurk, trading the Fox, or at least kind of give him a reasonable offer. And yeah, I'm more than happy to answer questions if folks kind of want to come up. Really kind of open it up. Doesn't have to be Fox related. Can be, current meta. Could be, other projects. I would prefer not like shield your own projects, but kind of whatever's really going on. More than happy to chat. I do know it's on the later side too, so if people would rather get some time back, I'm also not opposed to that as well. But if you do have questions you don't want to come up and ask them, if you want to throw them in our Fox chat, our general Fox chat, more than happy to kind of peruse through there. But I don't think I've seen really anything come through yet from a question side of things.
I actually have an exciting announcement that most have missed because it's pretty exclusive. There was a monumental event that occurred last night. There was a BertDAO, BronkDAO collaboration piece that was airdropped to our Bronk holders. So if you happen to know any Bronk holders, you can ask them about the airdrop, and they'll gladly share it.
This is ridiculous. What does it look like?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, come on. You can't do that to me.
It's the Bronchi Swamp. It has finally been realized.
It's the Bronchi Swamp?
Bronchi Swamp is now real in Canaan.
It's Canaan even.
I'm missing out. I hate missing out. That's so funny though. No, thanks for the collaboration update, and keep up the good work with the BronkDAO.
All right, I'll post it. I'll post it in Fox Chat so everyone can appreciate the art.
Of course.
Let's see this thing.
I got Norwally had sent a question over in Fox Chat, asking about how we assembled the Fox team. Oh my god, it's so good. Do you see that? Do you see that Bronx Swamp? It's so good. Fire, complete fire. All right, let me throw a fire emoji on it. I apologize, Norwally. I get distracted easy, which isn't that great in the space. Anyway, the Fox team itself, or I should say the famous Fox team that we have. So the three main leaders, I'll say are co-founders if you want. Myself, Dev, and Rabbles or Papa Fox. We all kind of came from the crypto trading side of things. I think we came from like a more legit, I'll call it like paid for Discord that was primarily about like learning about the space and technical analysis and all that kind of fun stuff. and then it kind of divulged into the trading side. I'll say for BSC coins last year at like I'll say like peak BSC times, which was terrible for me because I was not ready for that. And then we kind of just recognized, I guess, like the skill sets that we had within that little subset group that we had, and we saw what was really happening in the NFT space, and we kind of knew based off of our skill sets that we could provide some level of value to the community. And so we primarily were going to go with ETH when we first started the Foxes. So for folks that are like OG back in like early September, um, you might have come here from the ETH side, and perhaps we brought people from ETH to Solana. I mean, all the way back in early September. I don't know. And we did that for about 2 weeks, and then we kind of Solana at the time was more so, it was looked at as like kind of also like a country club that you couldn't really get into. It was quite difficult at the time to get like mints and such going in. But we saw an opportunity kind of open up, and we saw it be a little bit more recognized for being of good value to the community itself versus like I'll say the miners or the folks that kind of get I'll say a decent chunk from like fees and such. So we decided to kind of do a complete 180 pivot, and we were able to switch over to Solana. Dev kind of was able to figure the ins and outs of Rust enough to get us through our mint, and that was kind of I'll say the beginning of our history in the space. All the way back in let's call it the August September timeframe of 2021. So great question. Never against chatting about general history, especially from our team side. But yeah, we've known each other for quite some time. I want to say the OG server we were on, I've been on that since, when did they start that up? Like 2018-ish, 2019-ish. So I've been on that server for quite some time. They kind of evolved. They changed it from one name to another over the time, and they actually split it up as well between a stock side and a crypto side. So for some folks in the space, you might be familiar with it, but for other folks, it's just kind of a different server. I don't actually play an active role in the trading side anymore right now. I just see a lot more value in what we're doing in the NFT space. So it just kind of makes sense to channel my energy more into that than on the trading side. Plus, BSC coins really did me dirty, so I wasn't the best with that. But yeah, let me see real quick. Got anything else up here? Foxes brought you to Soul. Excellent. Love to hear that. All right, I got somebody requested Zungri.
Yeah, Zungri guy. I was about to
Yeah. Just bring him up here. Keep saying hi with his little
Yo,
hand.
my little hand. Yo, bro, I'm telling you something. I understand it's a project. You guys are talking about a brand new project, but listen, if you guys have anything valuable right now on OpenSea or in your MetaMask, you guys need to delist it and go to Etherscan and revoke access because there's something really big happening. I'm just coming in to just let you guys know and let everyone know there's something big happening where people are taking big NFTs and just removing them from you and just selling them. So if you guys are confused, you can go to Etherscan, connect your web, go to your ERC 721, then go to the contract, go on, turn on by contract, toggle it, and then you'll just press revoke access to anything you have. Even looks rare, you can fucking revoke access to all of that stuff, and you guys will be good. Trust me, I'm in the Bored Ape Yacht Club right now, and we got a whole big list, and they're just saying, "Yo, this is what we need to do." So I'm just going to every space that I know and just letting people know.
No, I appreciate that, Zungri. By chance, when you go to revoke, I guess if you have something listed on OpenSea and you go to revoke it, you have to pay that contract, right, to get that off of
Yeah,
OpenSea?
you might have to pay a little gas fee, but it's better to pay $25 than to
Even
lose
$100.
your fucking
Yeah.
$50,000 whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
for now. And then when everything's back on track, let's say a couple days, then we could start listing again. But right now, everybody step their shit up, and you know, just be on the lookout, you know. And I fuck with this project, by the way. These shits are real cute, and I could just I could buy in and sweep the floor on all these little shits, and I could fucking go crazy. So
Appreciate
I'll
that. I'm
follow
gonna.
you. I'll
Can
follow.
we hire?
I'll follow
Can you
you
hire
guys.
him for a promo spot? Holy shit!
Yeah,
Trust
I
me,
want to buy
man.
more now.
I'm
I'm following you now.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna follow you guys. I'm gonna follow all of you guys back if you guys follow me. But yeah, man, this is damn, these little things are cool. Like I need to just message me, please, because these little things look pretty cool. But I just wanted to come in and just tell you guys be careful and fucking be on the lookout for your NFTs, and because these aren't just pictures, these are assets, and this is money that people work hard for,
Sure.
and you know it's life changing shit. So be careful.
Yeah, of course.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right, take care, Zungri. Thank you.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, appreciate you. I figure with the amount he was waving there, so I thought I was gonna get
Yeah.
runs.
I hope you were taking notes because I don't know where you left off.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I mean, I think I just left off on
Oh,
answering
you were talking
questions.
about the BSC. Yeah, you were talking about the BSC situation with the team.
About me and BSC coins and getting completely rugging myself last year. Actually, I mean, based off of what he was saying, I still have listings up on Magic Eden or on OpenSeas. So I gotta figure out how to do this. But yeah, I mean, I'll welcome other questions. I don't know. Let me see if I have. Let me pull up Discord here real quick. I think I covered most of the things that I wanted to. I mean, I know it's an earlier night, but I'm not against giving some folks some time back. Let's see. The Fox team does really well in the pipeline. Talk more about how you all manage things internally. It seems like you just handle your shit. Do you coordinate with the board or something? Yeah, that's an excellent question, Jim the Dev. So I want to say we actually have a few different boards and such that we're using, and I think I kind of primarily manage a lot of things, at least from the recent like whitelist token meta for projects kind of reaching out and such. I do a lot of that via Google Forms and Google Sheets, I think is probably a better term for it. But yeah, we've got Airtables all over the place. Trying to think of other major organization items. I think for the most part, yeah, Airtables, different kind of collaborative tools. We kind of just keep track of things, but for the most part, it's a lot of DMs between kind of the project leads and just keeping track of things that way. It can get pretty unwieldy. I think for the most part, we have like a decent priority on what we're planning on doing. Certain times, it can be annoying for us to kind of have to ping each other about one thing or another that either's fallen in DMs or that we haven't gotten traction with, so we kind of have like a reminder for something. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of becomes one of those things. I think you can always improve on what you're doing from an organization side of things, and if anyone has solid tools or advice, I would welcome that really anywhere in our Discord. Kind of more of like a learning type thing for folks that might be interested in trying to use some other tools. But yeah, we're all about, and I appreciate the folks in here talking about safety. That's one of our priorities, which is quite nice. But yeah, I have to figure out this eat scan thing. What else is going on? I don't know. The week was pretty chill too, for the most part.
The crypto seems pretty stable, right? Although Solana is down to like what, 90?
Yeah, it dipped to, I think it's about 90 right now, so it's kind of been, I'll say, like all over the place, but Of course. Yeah. Don't do anything differently. I mean, I can't promise you that. There's always room for improvement. But yeah, I appreciate the kind words for sure. Let's bring Aaron back up here.
So it looks like OX Mob, you got a question. Said, like an OFF delivers a lot of tools, and I see like the plan, but what is the long-term vision for FFF? Where do you guys see FFF in 1 year, 5 in NFT time?
If you consider 1 year in NFT to be 5 actual years in NFT time, probably need to multiply that by 10. It's like 50 years in NFT time. That's an interesting question. That was a question that someone else had asked me the other day. I think it was in the honey space. I think for anyone that was in the honey DeFi space, where they kind of asked, what's the longer term vision? I would comfortably say, and I don't want to obviously put the words in kind of Dev's mouth, but we're here to kind of improve the quality of life really on the Solana ecosystem, and via whatever tool that may be. I think a lot of the tools that we have now make it more convenient if you own a Fox to do certain things in Solana, whether that's bulk send NFTs from one wallet to another, versus manually, sending one at a time, to, swapping NFTs. If there's somebody that, Slurix has, a Fox that you want to get, um, you can, offer a Foxy swap for it. If you want to add Solana on one side or the other because the rank's 10 off or something, I mean, you certainly can do that too. And messaging, I think Ding is like severely underrated. I think it's been very helpful for people that have had the need to use it. Some of these features you might not have to use them every day. You might have to use them, once a week or once a month. But like the time when you have to use it, you have it. And the nice part too with us with our token, or I should say our tools, we don't charge Solana to do them. We charge Foxy. That Foxy gets burnt. I mean, that's part of our ecosystem. That's part of our value as a project. As far as us kind of like, getting by with, what we need to kind of like survive, we have the royalties component from folks buying and selling Foxes, on secondary. And the more value we create to the space, ultimately the more people will hopefully want to buy into the project, which will, essentially kind of raise those prices, which will kind of in turn provide value back to us. And we do take a portion of those, and that goes into, our DAO treasury, which goes into the building side for what we create as value in the space. So it's really a long way of me saying that, 1 year, 5 actual years from now, our hope is to continue to build tools that really help on the quality of life side, within Solana. Hell, maybe we start doing cross chain, and we try to improve the quality of life for other chains as well. It really just comes down to, the timing, if it makes sense, if it seems like that's the trend in the space, for us to kind of pioneer it and to hopefully also set an example, for other projects that do come into the space as well, for wanting to kind of provide value back to the community. I think that's important. That's kind of critical at the end of the day, in my opinion, for what we do as a project, or really what the space should kind of focus on. Like I think someone had mentioned earlier, when we started staking with our Foxes, we started that November 10th, I believe. At that point in time, people were talking about it. No one had implemented it. I don't believe anyone had. I think we were the first ones in Solana to implement staking. But now when you look at it, everyone has staking, or everyone wants to have staking in a token and all that to it. I would just question the value of that staking and that token side of things for those projects, and just to kind of make sure it makes sense for them, which is important. So long way of me saying, that we'll be here to keep building and providing, value to the space and to the Fox holders. And, if things start trending in certain directions for us to get into other kind of opportunities that provide value to the Foxes, then that's where we're going to be. I love your guys' steak pictures too, by the way. You guys are too much with these gifts and such.
Hey y'all, I just jumped up on stage real quick.
Hey,
I'm sure you, like loads of y'all see me in the Discord trolling at random times at night for me.
Yeah, of course.
I should be sleeping. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say the mental health channel, especially recently, as I've been hitting burnout, has been amazing, even if it's just venting. But just the amount of support I see other people having, like whenever people are talking about like genuine problems as opposed to just me hitting burnout. And it's really cool seeing the community coming together and supporting each other.
No, yeah, I appreciate that shout out. You know, that's on me for actually not mentioning that earlier. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, we added in that mental health channel. I want to say almost a month ago now. I want to say it's been a few weeks. And it was requested. You know, it's one of those things where it just makes sense. I think, you know, from a community side of things. I know it's probably unfortunate that I really only did it for our DAO side. But you know, at the end of the day, I think it's kind of important for us to have that connection within our community where we're kind of, you know, it's not to leave others out, but it's to kind of make sure that, you know, we are really like kind of there for each other, you know, as kind of a project. I'm not going to say that you know, if people have, you know, issues and such that they want to air in whatever channel or even to me via DMs, do it. I'm all for it. I would welcome it. You know, I'm here for people at the end of the day. That's very important for me. And so, you know, I just want to make sure people kind of know and understand that just because you're not in the DAO does not mean that you're not important, especially from our project side of things. So we again, we just have the mental health channel within our DAO. It's quite helpful for people just to vent. You know, if you're having a bad day, if you're suffering burnout, whatever. Just throw your thoughts in there. It's you know, there's no judging people or anything like that. I think it's a very safe space, which has been quite nice. And you know, I'm planning on keeping it open. I drop little tidbits here and there, especially on like meditation and kind of taking a break and, you know, staying hydrated. For me, for a while, that was a challenge, even with a water bottle that had times on it for when I should drink from it. Still kind of became a challenge to kind of keep track of. But yeah, there's good tips and tricks and a lot of very supportive people in there. So if you're looking for a spot to vent, I highly recommend it. And again, also DM me. That's fine too. I'm perfectly, you know, safe and approachable person. More than happy to talk to anyone about anything. You know, if it drops down in DMs after we start talking, you know, just ping me as often as you can. I get a lot of people that DM me a day. But again, people are important as well. We're all people behind, you know, every name that exists, both in Twitter and Discord. You know, whatever your PFP is, whatever project you represent, that's perfectly fine. Again, there's no judging there. But it's just important to be there for the community, which is one of my priorities. So appreciate that, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hop off stage here, but yeah, I guess another thing just off that is it was really cool seeing some of the donations going out, like Logout specifically. I know like one of the members from Logout has been in our Discord, giving a lot of really good advice for people that in that mental health channel as well. So
Yeah, it's actually I'm you know, I'm glad you mentioned that too. So I kind of felt bad. They actually found out about us, I think, around the time when we were doing our initial donation set, and we had already kind of locked in the charities for it. And so they kind of asked if there was a way that we could add them in there, and we didn't want to, you know, we didn't want to kind of become a thing where like we would add them in and someone else be like, oh, what about this charity and that charity? So we kind of kept them out of the first one initially, but they kind of became part of our community and have been around, like you had mentioned, for quite some time. Hopefully, I believe they got a Fox 2 at a fairly reasonable price based off of when they had joined. But having said that, yeah, I was real happy, you know, at least with our last iteration, that we decided to kind of break it apart and do it from a percentage basis rather than just all those funds go to one charity. You know, where it would be a decent chunk for a charity to get and do good with, I think, to kind of spread the love a little bit around. breaking it up some definitely provides good value, for all of them to be able to kind of better their, current missions and kind of provide value, to their communities and their causes for what they are currently working on, which has been fantastic too, by the way. So a huge shout out to what Charity Work's doing in the space. And if anyone has any connections at Gemini can get Gemini to add Solana wallets, that would be highly encouraged or preferred, because apparently on Giving Block, that's their lockup is the not the NFT. The token itself has to be approved on Gemini in order for them to use it through Giving Block. So I learned that the hard way of trying to advocate for Giving Block getting Solana available for donations, because that would be so much easier and it would save people a lot of hassle. And in all honesty, the charities probably would have gotten about an extra $60 or so a piece, at least on the last one, just because of gas fees alone from the ETH side, because we had to kind of port things over from Solana to ETH to donate to those different charities. But we're able to do so with crypto, so it was still worth it. All right. Having said that, I don't know if Reagan, if you'd like to give final thoughts, I'll pass it over to Brink as well after, and then I'll kind of wrap up with my thoughts. And I should check to see if anyone sent anything. I started pacing after getting onto that.
I don't have anything in particular, but something to sort of bounce off of what Aaron was saying, and just like burnout. I think especially in this sort of crypto side hustle grind mentality era, it's like really easy to burn out, way easier than I think people expect. So just like, just a reminder, just not everything has to be a business. Not everything, you don't always have to, every decision you make doesn't have to be one that makes money. It's okay to do stuff that, are like quote unquote meaningless to other people if it makes you happy. Like it's good to have a side hustle, but not everything has to be a side hustle. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think hobbies are a great thing to have, especially hobbies that you can kind of share with other people that you're kind of close with. I think that's an important thing as well.
Yeah, a lot of devs I know just like burn out like crazy. It's like the thing that helped me personally, I don't know if it will help for everyone, but like just code some side projects that no one probably will never use, but you kind of want to code them. Like code a weird programming language, code a weird framework. Just like, not everything has to be a business. I think it's good for just having hobbies outside of that sort of mentality.
Yeah, just improve your skill set. There's nothing wrong with that. I do see that Xander Nova. I'm going to bring him up real quick, and then I'll switch over to Brink. I don't mean to rug Brink on this. All right, Xander, I think you can chat. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Doing well. I just wanted to come up here real quick and just say how much I love this project. That's really the only reason I came up here. But man, this project has been. Did I rug? I think I just rugged. Oh,
I
no,
hear
you're
you.
okay.
good.
Sorry, I was getting an incoming call. Yeah, I just wanted to say I love this project a whole lot. I love it for the most part for like just the art. Like I think y'all did a phenomenal job, but like the more I got involved, I think it has such a great team, and you guys have such amazing like tools and like plans listed out. And man, I think you guys have just one of the strongest communities here in Solana, and I'm kind of underinvested by a lot. I want more foxes. I just have to be smart where I put all my money. But man, I love this community a whole lot, man. I'm really grateful. I didn't even know we had a mental health channel. I could have used that a little bit, but man, much love to all you guys. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. Keep doing what you're doing. I just wanted to take a moment to be intentional with honoring, because sometimes you tend to. Okay, I think I did rug that time.
You definitely rugged there.
Definitely rugged that time. But yeah, just wanted to. I don't want to take up too much time. I just wanted to say that I'm about to go have dinner, but I just wanted to come up and take a moment to be intentional and say I love this project a whole lot. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm available if you guys ever need anything. But much love.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the kind words and thank you, for supporting us and kind of continuing on to kind of represent the community. I certainly agree with and would would definitely emphasize that our community is quite strong in the space. I would venture to say one of the best communities out there for sure, from a general, genuine side of things with our community. We're all about elevating us as a project in total, not necessarily kind of taking advantage of one person or another, for your own financial gains, which is quite nice. With that, I'll turn it over to Brink. Bronk, any final thoughts besides getting Slurix to trade you as Fox?
No, he wasn't going to say it, but I'll say it. Xander. Oh, no, he left. Xander is an awesome artist, too. So if you guys check out his profile, you see he's got some really cool work. But apart from that, no, I'm just chilling here. And Slurks, trade me the Fox, please. Bye.
I knew you'd get that in there. Yeah, I appreciate it. I have to check out some Xander's work. I'll be honest with you, just with the stuff that we have going on, it's been tough to kind of keep track of everything. But yeah, I certainly will check him out for sure. And and for my side, I always like to end off on the security side. I mean, obviously, as we heard a couple of times in the space, the OpenSea stuff. It's worth mentioning to kind of add to my security message. So if you're minting any upcoming projects or connecting to any sites that have, a Phantom or a wallet, I'll say connection, whether it's for ETH or Solana, just connect them with burner wallets first. Just to provide that added level of kind of security on your side. It takes you a few seconds to create a burner wallet, even on the ETH side, and I'm just kind of using that as like a tester, if you will. Anyone that tries to, trade you DevNet funds for NFTs is a complete scam. It's just funds you can get, for developers to test out their products on a different network. Because again, Solana is still technically in beta, so there are different tools out there for folks to be able to utilize. And having said that, if you have questions about anything that come up, feel free to jump in Fox Discord, general chat, throw questions in there, ping me, DM me, whatever. If something seems too good to be true, odds are it is. For the added time it takes, to kind of make sure someone else kind of vets it. Usually if you're getting scammed, they try to do it in a timely fashion, because that way you don't have time to really think about what you're actually committing to. But our community is always around 24/7. There's going to be someone in there that can point you in the right direction. So I highly encourage folks to jump in, just general Fox chat. You don't have to own a Fox. You just verify yourself in there and just like start pinging people. Just kind of say, hey, this is going on. Can someone give me some advice on it? We have no skin in the game, so we're going to be as unbiased with you as we can. We do have an NFT swapping platform as well that's dirt cheap. I probably would speak for most people in this space, but if you have a trade you wanted to do for someone from a collection that's approved, more than most likely someone will throw you the Foxy just to do that trade for free. But that way you avoid the potential of getting scammed, and I highly encourage that as well. And with that, I think for the most part, we've talked about the OpenSea side of things. So just kind of check in on that information as that kind of develops. But be sure to kind of delist any expensive NFTs you have and disconnect them. Oh, I meant to add that too. For your approved devices on your Phantom wallet, you can go through and remove them. And I'd encourage people to go through and check at least your main wallets that you use to see what other websites those are still kind of connected to. I believe for the most part, unless there's an approval or auto approval on that side of things, which I don't know if Phantom re-enabled yet or not, that they can't do anything with it. But it's better to err on the side of caution. Just remove those websites from your approved websites that are on there. You can just go through in your settings. There's a setting in there for approved devices. I believe it's what the setting's called, and you can remove it from there. So highly encourage, just from the security side of things. If it doesn't do anything, it doesn't do anything, but at least you kind of minimize your risk exposure to the potential from those websites. So
another thing you can do too is if you want to be like super safe, you can send yourself like a super small amount of ETH and set the gas super low, and then it will just be like a pending transaction forever. So no other transactions will happen. If you want to like hard lock your wallet temporarily.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing you could do. Oh, and I guess I might as well at least add too. Always think about getting a ledger for anyone that has high profile, NFTs or anything really. I think at the cost right now of like 1.4 ish, maybe 1.5 Solana, it's worth having the safeguard there. It might take you a little while to get it, But I'd encourage folks to definitely get a hardware wallet for just kind of protecting yourself, adding another level of security to it. And with that, I will let everyone get back to their Saturday nights and weekends. And for those of you that might have off on Monday, have a good 3-day weekend. In America for I think it's President's Day this Monday, so not that it will matter for most people in the rest of the world. But you guys have a good rest of your weekend.